Now, it's traditionally one of the busiest shopping days of the year, but this year's Boxing Day sales have seen reduced numbers turn out in search of a bargain. Let's get the thoughts of the retail expert, Kate Hardcastle, who's joining us from Leeds this Boxing Day. Good to see you. How is footfall then on the 26th this year?
Very challenged. We've got some organisations that have decided they are just not going to open for Boxing Day. They've said out of respect of their colleagues, particularly who have had quite the challenging time in retail. We've seen a lot of different circumstances for that shopping environment as we've seen lockdowns on and off. Unfortunately, things like the figures in verbal and physical abuse towards store workers have been on the up since COVID. A lot of that determined to be around the challenges on distancing, face masks, and some of the things that colleagues have to put out in store. These environments are not the places that they used to be, and we've seen the rise of online shopping from customers who have felt more confident with that method of purchasing since, again, the beginning of March 2020, where we saw that significant rise in online. So not Black Friday, which was in November, nor the rush prior to Christmas have had that usual flourish of footfall. And we're not seeing that on Boxing Day sales either, just because people are shopping differently. If they're shopping at all, this certainly has been a seismic shift for the world of retail over the past 18 months.
Is it too early to look at comparative figures today in terms of previous years?
In terms of just before Christmas, it was about 15 to 20% down on usual 2019 figures. That's what we have to compare it to, because obviously last year we were in very different circumstances too. We've seen the rise of online shopping. So certainly some organisations have pushed consumers and shoppers towards channels. But one of the most concerning things is that we've had a lot of smaller businesses affected. The next variant was very prevalent. Consumers very worried about going out, trying to be respectful of distancing, trying to only go out for reasons that they were advised to go out for. Shopping was one of the first things to suffer alongside hospitality and the arts, because when you're making decisions about trying to stay safe so you can enjoy a family Christmas, you're not going to perhaps put yourselves in circumstances of an extra meal out with friends or going on a shopping trip, and particularly not the dwell in store. Now, what the dwell is the lingering time when we're perhaps browsing, taking a chance to have a look around for inspiration. That's just not been there prior to Christmas. Shoppers that have been in stores have been in and out at the till points, using the click and collect services. Now, that has a massive impact in how we shop and the figures in terms of profit, because when we dwell longer in stores, we tend to buy more. And that's what this season's all about, really, that golden quarter, September to December, when stores really would try and sell their wares to us so that we would shop emotionally and buy for Christmas.
And London's taken a big hit, hasn't it? Specifically, I guess, this time to do with the Omicron variant.
Absolutely. I mean, shoppers were there in Oxford Street, that kind of flagship for us all to base and understand what retail's looking like right now. But we're going through an evolution of retail, and a lot of these cities and towns have been so affected by the fact that workers haven't returned there in full numbers. People just haven't been visiting, going for tourism. And that's certainly affected London too. Tourist shopping's certainly been hit for the last nearly 2 years now. So all of these things have a real impact for stores. The future is about having a high street. We need social places to be. We need human interaction. It won't be as dependent on retail. I think there's going to be a blend of social activities there. But we have probably had conversations about high street remedy for over 10 years now. It's time to make that happen. It's time to make sure that we have places when we are allowed to get back together, that we can shop, have social time together, and that feel and look good for places. Because obviously the more stores that we see closed down, and that realistically might be what we're facing again in January, as some retailers just feel they can't carry on with that traditional bricks and mortar offer, we're going to see perhaps more vacancies.
Sorry, we're running out of time. Is another answer the fact simply that people are going online?
People have been shopping online much more, and that hasn't dipped at all since the return of shops being open. So I think we've got to accept that as part of the way we shop now.
All right, Kate Hardcastle joining us from Leeds. Thank you for joining us on Box.